The Roman Empire faced many challenges over the centuries, including betrayals from within its own ranks. Many trustworthy men in Rome chose to put their personal interests above everything else, frequently conspiring with enemies for personal or political gain. One of these men stands out, Titus Labienus, one of Julius Caesar's best generals, who resolved to betray him during the Roman Civil War. In this video, we will see more about this general's history. Titus Labienus was born in the 1st century, probably 100 BC, in the city of Singulum in the Picenum region. Labienus' family hailed from the Equites, Rome's second highest class, which was second only to the senatorial class. Aged a little over 20, he began his service in the Roman army under General Publius Servilius Istaricus, where he fought pirates and enemy tribes in the Sicilian mountains. Eventually, Labienus became strongly associated with Pompey and Julius Caesar. By 63 BC, he was acting as tribune of the plebs alongside them. Working together in Rome, Labienus and Caesar became great friends. While he enjoyed his administrative duties as tribune of the plebs, Labienus was more identified with serving in the Roman army. He used his experience and political standing to secure high-ranking position in Julius Caesar's legions. Following the conclusion of his term as tribune, Labienus went on to serve as Legionary Legatus in the Gaul lands. This was the highest rank that a soldier could achieve in the legion, roughly equivalent to the general of the army. In Gaul, Labienus was second in command, only below Julius Caesar. Caesar's trust and friendship with Labienus was such that the legatus was the only one referred to by name in Caesar's writing throughout his first campaign. According to Caesar himself, Labienus was a military strategist, besides leading his troops with great dexterity, especially the cavalry. During that entire campaign, from 53 to 52 BC, Labienus was increasingly against earning Caesar's respect, overcoming numerous battles against the Gaul tribes. Ultimately, when Caesar saw Labienus' efforts to help him conquer Gaul, he returned the favor by appointing him governor of Cisalpine Gaul in 51 BC. Additionally, during the Gaul campaign, Labienus managed to obtain much wealth and power, but he still wasn't content with what he had. He dreamt of having his own independent rule or perhaps becoming consul of the Republic of Rome. After all, he was convinced that he deserved at least an equivalent or higher position than Julius Caesar, as he had worked extremely hard, instead of having to continue to report him. But Caesar offered no assurance that he would be given anything beyond being governor. The lack of recognition apparently made Labienus deeply bitter, and then he went on to plan to betray his commander. In January 49 BC, Julius Caesar's tenure as proconsul in Gaul and Illyria was over. As a result, the Senate commanded him to demobilize his army and return to Rome. Each Roman magistrate exercised the imperium, which was the power of command over his troops. They could wield this power outside of Italy, but could not bring their troops into Italy without authorization from the Senate. Having lost his magistrate privileges, Caesar was supposed to discharge his army before entering Italy. However, he did not do so. Along with his army, he crossed the Rubicon River, which bordered Italy. This deed was a declaration of war against the state. Simultaneously, this was the perfect opportunity for Titus Labienus to get the approval of the Roman Senate by double-crossing his former commander. For this reason, Labienus wasted no time and sided with Caesar's greatest enemy, General Pompey the Great. Going into civil war against Caesar, Labienus took with him more than 3,700 soldiers from Gaul. In exchange, Pompey appointed him as the cavalry commander. During the following 4 years, he fought alongside Pompey against Caesar's troops, helping to consolidate Pompey's power. At last, on March 17, 45 BC, the two former great friends meet at the Battle of Munda, the fight which would not only decide the future of their lives, but also Rome's fate. So fierce was the battle that Caesar voiced to his soldiers that he was struggling not only for victory, but also for his life. Suetonius claims that Caesar was so desperate that he even contemplated taking his own life. Caesar's losses were significant, reaching about 1,000 deaths out of an army of about 30,000 men. While the conflict was going on, Caesar's ally, King Bogud, raided Pompey's rear lines, driving Labienus to draw cavalry from the front lines to engage him. However, Pompey's legions started to retreat, resulting in an overwhelming defeat and many casualties. It was at this point that Labienus met his demise while commanding the Pompeian cavalry. According to the Roman historian Appianus, Labienus's head was brought to Caesar after the battle. He sent his men to find Labienus's body and buried his old friend with all due honor. This loss ended the Roman Civil War for the last time, and Caesar was ultimately allowed to return to Rome and ruled as an elected Roman dictator. Labienus's ambition and lust for power drove him to betray his former commander, and this ended up costing him his life. If you liked learning more about this general story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe to our channel.